Pasolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center at ivymasters.com. And today we're going to look at the 28th question from the Linear Digital SAT Test 1, Module 1, Reading and Writing. 28 reads in 1453. English King Henry VI became unfit to rule after falling gravely ill. As a result, Parliament appointed Richard, the third Duke of York, who had a strong claim to the English throne, to rule as Lord Protector. Upon recovering 2 years later, forcing an angered Richard from the royal court and precipitating a series of battles later known as the War of Roses. Which choice completes the text that conforms to the conventions of standard English? So I'm going to introduce you to a concept before we tackle this question, and it's called modification in word order. A phrase that modifies something must be next to what it modifies. What does that mean? I'm going to give you a simpler example and then we'll apply it to this one. So I might say barking loudly, comma, and then after the comma your options might be the dog's leash was wrapped around the tree. Barking loudly, comma, the tree had the dog's leash wrapped around it. Barking loudly, comma, the dog wrapped its leash around the tree. So what you got to focus on is barking loudly is the phrase that's modifying something. And you want to ask yourself, do trees bark loudly? No. So it cannot be barking loudly, the tree wrapped its leash around the tree. It sounds like the tree is barking. Could it be barking loudly, the dog's leash was wrapped around the tree? No. Leashes, notice that's possessive, dogs, and it's leash. Not the dog, but the leash. The leash can't bark loudly. So the correct answer there is going to be barking loudly, the dog wrapped its leash around the tree. So what follows barking loudly has to be who or what's barking loudly. And notice if you take away barking loudly, you have an independent clause, something that could be its own sentence. So the dog wraps its leash around the tree. Let's apply that to this. We're going to read, I made a little red slash before the word upon here. And notice, upon recovering 2 years later, comma, what follows a comma has to be who or what is recovering 2 years later. Henry recovered 2 years later. Answer is B. The reign of Henry did not recover 2 years later. Answer choice C is not Henry, it's Henry's reign. Henry's reign did not recover 2 years later. And answer is D. It did not recover 2 years later. Your correct answer here is A. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has difficulty with modification in word order. If there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. Click subscribe so you don't miss anything and check out our 1-minute video on TikTok. Have a great day.